Oregon mood tracker, fascinating here. I had a pretty good read on where I wanted to go with Oregon. I didn't really need to crowdsource this one a whole lot. The Oregon fan base mood tracker, I can't be too animated right now because I'm kind of closed in here. So the way that I chose to sum it up is I put Oregon in arm swing mode. And if you're watching, right here, I'm trying to do a bowler's posture. If you've ever gone bowling, there was a place down in Columbus when I was growing up. It was called Peach Bowl Lanes. I think it's still there, but it's a different name. I by no means am a professional bowler, so I don't know the terminology, but there's this moment, and you can phrase it however you want to. If there's a professional term, you let me know. But there's this moment after you've released the ball and you've got a good release, okay? It's on point, it's headed where you want it to head. But that awkward 2 or 3 seconds between the time that ball leaves hand and ball strikes pin, and you don't know what to do, and everyone behind you is watching, and you just kind of stand there. That is exactly where Oregon fans are right now. They got a good release. It's not headed towards the gutter. Bumpers aren't out, by the way. It's not headed towards the gutter. It's headed right where they want it to. And now you got to find out, is it going to be one of those pin explodes all over the place, you get a strike, or is it going to be a nasty 7-10 split, even though you think you did everything right? College football, in this sport, winning leaves a bunch of clues. We can look at programs that are winning consistently, and it's not hard to figure out why they're winning consistently. A few things I wrote down. They hire well, very obviously. Number 2, they fully invest. And then number 3 is they just keep fully investing. You can't do it once and then rest on your laurels. You got to keep investing. You got the facilities, obviously. They recruit elite classes, not just one. They stack them on top of each other. Those are a few points. But there's another point. I want to get to that one in just a second. But think about where an Oregon fan is right now. If you're looking at your program, which of those boxes don't you check? I would answer none of them. Every one of those boxes is checked. Oregon has hired well. They've obviously got the investment. They've obviously got the facilities. They've got a really, really good national brand about themselves, which those more successful programs have done. I mean, Clemson has taken their brand from very regional to a national brand. They recruit coast to coast. Now, Clemson wouldn't get quarterbacks out of California 10 years ago, and now they are. Oregon's got a national brand. By default, they have to recruit nationally, but they're doing it. Speaking of recruiting, they're stacking the classes on top of each other. There's no question about that. They're really good right now. They're checking all the boxes. They are the swinging arm. They have released the bowling ball. It's headed in the right direction. Now they just have to stand there and they're waiting. It's this kind of awkward, it's an exciting period, but it's an awkward period of, what's going to happen? Okay. Then there's this other box. And this is the final clue that these winning programs leave, and that is getting quarterback right. And that's where it gets really fun from this point moving forward for Oregon, because they haven't had it. They haven't even had it. I would argue they didn't even have it with Justin Herbert, because what he did in college pales in comparison to what he's doing in the pros. A lot of his mock draft status was based on projection and measurables rather than actual college productivity. Well, now we fast forward a few years, and we've got Mario Cristobal, got Joe Moorhead in place there. But now I think the difference is on campus, and his name's Ty Thompson. He hasn't taken a snap at Oregon yet, but you don't need to be shy about this. I was talking to an Oregon buddy who I've never met in person, but I text with him all the time. And I made this point to him. I said, you got the guy that's going to give you the best shot you've had there to win a national championship since Chip Kelly was there. And I count the Helfrich era. Since Chip Kelly was there, this dude's going to give you the best chance you've ever had to win a national title. And he said, oh, don't say that. Why? There's no reason to be shy or bashful about this. There's no reason to be superstitious. You think Clemson was bashful when they got Trevor Lawrence on campus? You see Alabama fans walking around timidly when they talk about Bryce Young? No. JT Daniels at Georgia? Georgia hadn't even won a title yet. They don't even know what one feels like. They think they're equipped and ready. You don't need to be bashful or shy about this. Ty Thompson's a stud. As highly as we had him rated, I've talked to people who think he's still underrated. I think some of them are probably at Oregon. And so I'm very excited about him. I'd be over the moon excited if I were an Oregon fan. And so now the final box that's not been checked, at least to the degree that maybe it's been checked at other programs, now you could argue even that one's been checked. And so here we are. We're watching that ball. And whether we're going the straight route or we're putting some curve on it, it's headed where we want it to head. Now, what kind of pin action are we going to get? When it finally hits those pins, are they going to explode? I think Ty Thompson gives them a chance to. I was listening to the College Football Daily. Trey Scott had on Eric Scalpel from Duck Territory, and they were talking about how quickly the entire quarterback scene changed at Oregon over the past week or two. If you missed that, so Tyler Shuck, who was the starting quarterback last year, he left, and he wasn't out of eligibility. He just left. And I think a lot of the assumptions that are being made around Oregon are valid. You never know until the player himself comes out and confirms it or denies it. But I think he read the writing on the wall. There's no shame in that. But I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of reason to be excited if you're an Oregon fan and you look at Ty Thompson. If that is indeed the case, if that was the case where your incumbent guy looked at an incoming true freshman, by the way, who he's very familiar with, they're from the same area, and he says, deuces, I got to get out of here. I got to go somewhere I can play. That guy is someone that they around Oregon are comparing to when Darren Thomas was there, but then Marcus Mariota came in. Darren Thomas said, oh boy, like Amy Poehler in Parks and Rec, oh boy. Hey, I think that's valid. And I hope it is for Oregon's sake. So I'm extremely excited to watch this. Selfishly, I'll just tell you selfishly, in wanting what's best for Oregon in the future, I, like many other outsiders, are pulling for him to win that job, Ty Thompson. And the reason is because I just look at him and I think in terms of upside down the road, 2022, 23, 24, he's probably not there that long if he's the right guy. But man, I hope he's the right guy. And if he is, I hope we see him very soon. I think that coaching staff probably feels the same way. But here's the other good news. It's not Ty Thompson or bust. To me, there are at least two other quality candidates on campus there. You could argue about that, but I'm telling you, man, they check so many boxes that some places they have false hope. I think it's legitimate, like premium optimism at Oregon right now.